Hi, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm looking forward to trying this puzzle today. Ethan Morgan has sent this one in. It's a Sudoku variant called Anti-Knight's Move Sudoku. So normal Sudoku rules, except that it's not possible for a number to appear within a knight's move of its number. So this 6, for example, rules out there being a 6 in this square, because these would be a knight's move apart. And this is a variant I really enjoy. I'm not particularly quick at solving them because I don't know whether it's just doing normal Sudoku for so many years. It leads to blind spots when you're solving these puzzles, but you know, they do have some fantastic logic in them, and that's what I'm hoping we're going to see. But I say this with some trepidation because Ethan has designed this puzzle using a computer in which he says the algorithm he's used has selected the most difficult path at all times. So he thinks this puzzle is very, very hard, and no one he's given it to has managed to solve it. But the thing that I'm hoping means it's fair is he says that the algorithm does use only sort of techniques that humans are capable of interpreting. So this should be very interesting. Do try the puzzle first. You can see there's only 18 given digits here, so I suspect it's really going to be a challenge. And without further ado, let's go. So yeah, okay, and there's a good way we can use the knight's move constraint straight away, looking at the 3 here and the 3 here. So ordinarily we wouldn't be able to do better than highlighting a 3 into those 3 positions, but look, this 3 rules out this 3 because of the knight's move, and this 3 rules out this 3 because of the knight's move. So we actually get to place a number. Now the other thing I will do as I solve this is I'm going to abandon standard notation. So I'm going to notate in 3x3 boxes all of the positions a number can go into, and I'm quite happy to go, you know, to 3 positions and even 4 positions. This is just something that will be required because there are so many odd things about knight's move Sudoku. This 1, for example, ordinarily you wouldn't look at it, but look at the effect it has here in this block. It actually forces a 1 into one of only 2 positions, because this position would be a knight's move away from the 1, and this position would be a knight's move away from the 1. 6s, this 6 here and this 6 here. Force, no, ordinarily again we'd have a 6 in one of 3 positions, but this 6 rules out this one and this one, so that is a 6. Six into 3 positions there. And 6 into 2 positions here, except this 6 is a knight's move away from this 6, so we get another digit. Ones into 3 positions on that one. 6s. Let's have a look at row 3, because we've got 5 digits in that now. We've got 1, 5, 7 and 8 to place. 1, 8 here. Ha! Okay, but there you go. Can this square be a 1? And the answer is no, believe it or not, because look, it rules out this 1, it rules out this one by knight's move, and this one by knight's move, so this has to be an 8. 8, 8. This 8 rules out an 8 from this square, so again, let's make some more pencil marks. 5s, this 5 here and this 5 here, so again ordinarily 2 5s, but this 5 is a knight's move away, so let's put the 5 in. 3s now locked into one of the top 2 positions. This square must be a 1 or a 2. Let's just take a stare at that quickly. Yeah, okay. Now look, there might be something anyway. This one here. Now ones on the edge of 3 by 3 blocks, where they're in the central position. We see it again with the 2 and the 8 here. These are surprisingly powerful in this variation, because let's look at this 2 first, and you'll see what I mean. The 2 obviously rules out a 2 along the line, but it also rules out 2 in this square and this square because of the knight's move. So the 2's can be locked into one of 3 positions. And similarly, this 8 locks 8s into those positions. So this 1 here, again, it locks them into these positions. Ah, this is beautiful, beautiful. Now, yeah, okay. This square here is very interesting. Ah, this is gorgeous. Right, let's look at this first. Can this square be a 1? Now, I think the answer is no, because if it's a 1, obviously this square can't be a 1, and this square can't be a 1. So the only position for a 1 in this 3 by 3 block would be here. So we'd have a 1 here and a 1 here. And that would force this square to be a 1. And ordinarily we would think that's absolutely fine, but it's not fine here, because look, these 2 1s are now a knight's move away from each other. So it's never possible for this square to be a 1 and this square to be a 1. Therefore, this square can't be a 1. And indeed, I'm not sure this square can be a 1. Can this square ever be a 1? If it's a 1, no, it can't be. If this is a 1, this can't be a 1 for the reasons we've just discussed. This can't be a 1 because it's in the same column. So this would be a 1. So we'd have a 1 here and a 1 here. But now we can't fill in a 1 in this bottom 3 by 3 block, because we know the ones in this block are locked into column 7 and column 9. So this square is never a 1. Oh, that's helpful, because now there's a 1 in one of 2 positions here, so this square is a 1. So 1's in 3 positions in this block now. And along this row we need 1, 5 and 7, I think. Like that. Okay. Ah, okay, yeah, alright, but now this can't be a 7, I think. Can this ever be 7 here? Because if this is 7, I need to put a 7 somewhere in this block. There can't be 7s here because of this 7. There couldn't be 7s in these 2 because of this 7. And there couldn't be a 7 here because it's a knight's move away from the 7 we're hypothesizing there. So, this becomes a 1 or a 5. And there is a 7 in one of these 2 positions. So there is a 7 in one of these 2 positions. 7, 7, 7. But don't see how to resolve that. Right, so what next? So we've got 1. One's locked into one of those 3 squares. One's here. I'm wondering about the 1 here. And the reason I'm interested in it is, look, it does affect this square. So if this is a 1, this cannot be a 1. We'd end up with a 1 here, which forces a 1 here. Ah, yeah, that breaks. It breaks. It breaks. Yeah, okay. Let me show you this slowly. This 1 is powerful because as I said, it affects the ability of this square to be a 1. So it's going to force a 1 there, which in turn forces a 1 here. And that, believe it or not, forces a 1 up there. And now, where can we place a 1 in this top 3x3 block? There's no squares left that can take a 1. So, a bit of a chain, but helpful. So this square is not a 1. So the 1 is over here, which means this is a 1. Which means we get rid of a 1 there. I'm going to fully notate this this top box, I think. Oh, now seven's down here. Look, this 7 and this 7. So there's a 7 in one of 2 positions. And there's a goat 7-9 pair now in this block. Oh, and this one allows me to get. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry, I was being really slow. This one and this one. This has to be a 1. And there's a 2-3 pair at the top now. So that gives us anything. Well, it gives us a 2 along one of those 3 squares. 1 here. The 1's not going to give us anything more, I don't think. And in this block, we still need to place 2, 3, and 6, and there's a 3 here. So this is a 3. And that gives us a number in the middle, because look, where can we place the 3? We can't place it here because it's a knight's move from this 3. This 3 rules out this square, so this square must be the 3. Oh, hang on, what am I doing? That square must be the 3. Therefore this square is a 3, and that again we can use the knight's move constraint. So 3, 3, this square can't be a 3. The 3's locked into that square, which resolves the 3 and the 2 at the top. And so far, this is a beautiful puzzle, but I feel like I've been really efficient. So 2-6 pair here now. This isn't a 1. 4 here. There's a 4 in one of those 2 squares. 6. 2. Oh, look at this. This is very clever. Very, very clever Knight's Move Sudoku. So, yeah, okay. Look at this 2-6 pair. And let's think about how it interacts with this 3x3 block, because it's gorgeous. So let's go with 2 here to start with. If this is a 2, what will happen is you'll have a 2's forced into those 2 squares, and we need to put a 6 still in this. So this will be a 6, and we need to put a 6 into this block. Now you can see that then by the knight's move restriction, this square won't be able to be a 6. So that will give us a 6-7 pair to go along with our 2-4 pair and make this an 8. But let's think about it the other way round. If this is a 6, it just gives us a 4-6 pair, makes this a 2, rules out a 2 from this square, and we get the same restriction. There's never any way this square can be anything other than an 8. That is absolutely beautiful. This is an 8. Let's put that in. Unfortunately, 8s don't seem to do much for us at all. It doesn't even reach this square. I was hoping that would be a big breakthrough. Let's just check the rest of this row. So 2, 4, 5, 6. 2, 2. No, I'm not seeing much there. So what should we look for now? Maybe sevens. This 7 here locks a 7 into one of 3 positions there. The 7's down here. Well, they're not very restricted at all. Oh my god. Right. Wow. Oh, wow. This is... Right. I'm now going to show you one of the most beautiful pieces of logic we have ever shown on this channel. We do need to think about sevens. Can this square be a 7? Now let's think about this. Now, I talked before about how important in Knights Move Sudoku it is when you have a number on the edge of a 3x3 in the center. So this 7 is surprisingly restricting on this block because it's going to force a 7 into one of 3 positions. Here we go. Now, if you're concentrating, you'll immediately see that the 7s locked into these 3 positions are matching the 7s in this 3x3 block, because the 7s in this 3x3 block are locked into either row 4 or row 6, just as they are here. So I still haven't managed to put a 7 into row 5 under the hypothesis that this is a 7. So the only place I could do that, if we look at this 3x3 block, is this square. This square has to be a 7. Let's put it in. Can you see what that's done? This is just so clever. I'm just, Ethan, this is just beautiful, because this 7 rules a 7 out from there, and now we have a problem, because the 7s are now locked into these positions. And you may say, well, this is still okay, isn't it, because we could have a 7 here and a 7 here. Nope. These 7s are always now Knights moves apart. This pattern is impossible in a Knights move Sudoku. So, for example, obviously if this is a 7, this can't be a 7 now. So the 7's forced down here, and Knights move away, and vice versa. So this all goes to show somewhat wonderfully that, but I need to delete these pencil marks now. This square is never a 7. The 7 must be here. And that must surely give me something. Well, it gives me a 7 into 1. Ah, this 7's a Knight's move. So it locks a 7 into 2 positions here. And this, even this, can sometimes be helpful, because if we look down at this 3x3 block, you could see, for example, this square now could never be a 7, because that would rule out both possibilities for 7s in the central 3x3. But this 7 already rules that out, I guess. So the 7s seem to me to be locked into one of 4 positions in this block, which is not nearly as good as I was hoping. So what is the next thing we need to do? Fives, maybe. This 5 is forces a 5 into one of 3 positions there. The fives are in one of the three positions here. Okay, yeah, but there is a little bit, we can do a little bit better than that. This square can't be a 5 because of the 5 pattern here in this 3x3 block. If there was a 5 here, it rules out the 5 from these two squares and this square. So actually, we're down to 2 5s in this block. Now, can I rule out one of those? Not sure. I feel like I should be able to do fives. I think I'm missing something here. Yeah, yes, this is okay. This is okay. This 5. Now it's not brilliant, but it does rule out a 5 from this square. So the 5s in this 3x3 block are, I think, all of those positions are possible. But the key thing is that these 5s are all in columns 4 and columns 5, just as the 5s that we've locked up here are in column 4 and column 5. So I know, coming over to this square, that the 5s are going to have to be in column 6, because I've not managed to put a 5 in column 6 yet. Now this 5 rules out this square, so one of these two positions must be the 5. Now can we get rid of one of those? Ah, bother. I don't know that I can. We may have to try and rule one of these out by force again. 5, 5. Fives. This square can't be a 5 because it's a knight's move away. Now there is something interesting here. Now this is another classic pattern that you get with knight's move Sudokus. If you're in a 3x3 block and you get this L shape at the corner, it always rules out a 5 from this square and from this square. And you can see why. If there was a 5 here, it's ruling out 5s from both this square and this square by the knight's move. Now, we've already ruled out a 5 from this square, but in this block, I've not ruled out a 5. So the 5 now, in theory, we would have been there, but because of this L-shaped pattern, we rule out that one. So, what does that mean? Hang on. It's so clever, this. Can this be a 5? And the answer is no, it can't be. Because now, where can a 5 go in this 3x3 block? Well, a 5 here rules out the 5 from this square, so the 5s are locked into one of these two positions. But this 5 here also rules out this 5 and forces a 5 here in this 3x3 block, so we get a repeated 5 in column 4. So this is not a 5. This is a 5. And that is nice. But it gives us a 2-8 pair now, because we'd pencil marked all the positions in this block that a 2 and an 8 could go into, and now we're only left with 2 cells. So these two, this is a 2-8 pair. These 5s here allow me to pencil mark 5s over on the left, Ah, 5, 5, 5. Oh, bother. I thought that was going to be enough to really crack it. Let's have a look at this column now, because this has got quite a few numbers in it. We've got to place 2, 4, 8 and 9. So this is a 4 or a 9, I think. Oh, well, this can't be a 4 because there's a 4 here. So this is just a naked single. This is a 9. Let's pencil mark 9s over on this side, I think, because now we have 9s locked into these 3 positions. 9. So what are we left with? 2, 4 and 9 down here. Sorry, not 2, 4 and 9, 2, 4 and what is it? 2, 4 and 8. But this there is an 8 there. So this is 2 or 4. This is, it's very easy to miss one of the restrictions in this knight's move variation. So 2, 4 or 8, I think they're all possible here. So how do we get another restriction? Oh, hang on. Look, we've got 2s here locked into one of these 2 positions. That's right. Yeah, that's good. And 2's here locked into one of the same columns. So column 4, column 6. So this can never be a 2. This has to be a 4, which means this is a 4. Oops. 4. 4's into one of these 2 squares now. 6. 4's. So the 4 in this block is locked into the same positions as the 7 because of the knight's move restriction on this square. So this, I think, has to be a 6. I've not managed to put a 6 in yet, so let's put the 6 in. And this 6 and this 6 now interact on this block to force a 6 into one of those 2 squares. This square can't be a 6 because of the knight's move restriction. Okay, now one thing we could do here is to use uniqueness, because let's look at this block here and ask ourselves, so we've got to place the numbers 2, 6 and 7 into the block. So if this is a 7, if this square is a 7, then we would have this arrangement. Now, you have to be very careful with ruling this out in Knight's Move Sudoku, but I can't see a 2 or a 6 affecting, or, you know, for example, if this square could have been a 2 or a 6, it would have resolved the uniqueness question. But here, no 2 or 6 reaches these squares, so these squares form an independent puzzle from the rest of the Sudoku. There is no way of disambiguating whether there's a 2 and a 2 in this, on this diagonal, or a 2 and a 2 on this diagonal. So this arrangement would be broken. Now we know this is a good puzzle. So far this is a sensationally good puzzle. So this, we cannot have a 7 here to give us the 2-6 pair. This must be the 7. And we do get a 2-6 pair, but it's in a different place. Now this 7 rules out 7s from those 2 squares. There's now 2 7s here. 5, 6, 7. Just wondering whether we could do anything with 2s, but I don't see quite how to. This is a 2 or an 8. Can't quite resolve the 7 and the 9. No 7's actually hitting it. This 9 isn't hitting it. Ah! Two, 4, 5, 6 along here. Ah, there you go. So this is a naked single, but it's this 5 that's ruling it out. So I was looking along here saying where could the 2's go, and the 2's seem to be able to go in several positions, but this square, if we just look at the cell logic on this square in particular, everything is ruled out except 2. That is useful. How useful it is, I'm not sure. But it gives us a 2. That it is useful. These two 2's here force a 2 into one of these 2 squares because of the 2 there. And look, these are a knight's move apart, so we do get another number. And that resolves the 6 and the 2, which resolves the 6 and the 2 over here. This 6 now is fantastic because we'd only managed to pencil mark two 6's into this square. Now this one is ruled out, so this must be a 6. And the 6 here gives us a... no, this can't be a 5. It's a knight's move away from this 5. Why is there a 5 pencil marked here? Oh, I know why. It's when I was looking at... there were 2 positions for 5 here, and I hypothesized this was a 5, and I said if this was a 5, it ruled out a 5 from here, so I removed a pencil mark from this square. Whereas now this is the real 5, I should have removed it from that square, so hopefully it makes more sense for this square to be the 5. Yes, that's right. Okay, so this is a 5. And that resolves this 1, 5 up here. Make sure we're careful with the pencil marks. 1's, 1's at the top now. This 6 gives us a 4, 5 pair in this row, which is resolved by the 5 we've just got. So that's 5, 4 in that order. This must be a 5 in this block. This 4. I was hoping the knight's move would rule out one of the options there, but it doesn't quite do it. So, and this... where can we place a 6? This is a 6, yes, okay. Nice. So now we've got 8 and 9 to place in row 7. Can we do anything with that? Not seeing how. This can't be a 6 anymore. This is 1, 8, 9, 1, 8, 9. We still have got 8 to place in anywhere. Hang on. No, there's an 8 in one of these 2 squares. Yeah, that's right, because this 8's removing it from these 2 squares. So this can't be an 8. This can't be an 8. So the 8 is locked into one of these 2 positions. 7, 9, 4, 7, 4, 7. So what's the next step? This has to be a 2 or an 8. Can't resolve that with the knight's moves. This square is restricted as well, actually. Yeah, there's a 2 and a 4 here, which are not in the column. So this can only be 8 or 9. Oh, that's beautiful. This can't be 8. This cannot be 8. Look, we don't know where the 8 goes in this 3x3 block, but we know it's either here or here, and those 2 squares are both a knight's move away from this square. This is a 9. That is gorgeous. This is just such a clever puzzle. I'm going to be careful. That can't be a 5. 9s are now locked up here in one of these 3 squares, I think. Oh no, this can't be a 9 here, because then that's a knight's move away from this 9. Okay. So we've got 1, 7 and 9 pencil marked in here, and they are a triple, so this must be 4 and 8 into these 2 positions, which means this must be 4 and 8 up here. No, not 4 and 8, is that right? I wanted to put an 8 into... Yeah, that is right. So we're looking for 2 and 5, are we? Ah, yeah, because this 5 eliminated the 5. I still needed to put a 5 in here, and now I can. So this is 5 and 2. Finally, this 2 here gives us a 2 and an 8. That's not going to be... Ah, the 8 doesn't reach anywhere. The 2 doesn't reach anywhere. Right, okay. Oh, but look down column 3. Where can we put a 9? So let's ask ourselves, and this is so good. Look at this. This square, can it ever be a 9? And you may look along the row and go, yes, it can. No, it can't. If it's a 9, there's no 9 in either of these 2 squares, and this is a knight's move away from this. So we can never put a 9 in this square. This must be a 1 or 8. And now there is a 9 in column 3 in one of these 2 positions. Therefore, this is not a 9. This, which gives us a 4-8 pair in column 1. So this is a 1 or a 9 now. And now we can do the same trick again. Look at this square. This square can't be an 8 now, because if this is an 8, rules out an 8 from the only 2 positions in this block that an 8 can go into. So this is not 8, this is 9. Which means this is 8. Which means this is 4, and this is 8, and this is 4. Therefore this is 7, this is 4, and have we cracked it? I'm hopeful. 9 and 8. 7 and 9. 8 and 7. 1 and 9. I think we have 1, 7, 9, and I think we are done. The computer isn't going to recognize this because it doesn't understand knight's move Sudokus. So let me just scan. Tom Snyder does this so much quicker than me. There's footage on YouTube of him doing this. I think it's right. I'm going to go with it. What a puzzle. Ethan, you are some sort of genius for compiling this, and your computer has done a sterling job. Thank you very much for sending it to us. Sincerely, that is one of the best puzzles I've done this year. And I'm sorry it took me so long, but I hope you agree there was enough complexity in that that a bit of time was necessary. So thanks again. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the video, or please subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back soon with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.